Hello and welcome to UNDathletics.com's newest feature, Hounds Re-Engaged. We're focusing on the swing and diving team today. We have Krystal Caylor, senior swimmer, and Brent Noble. He is the associate head coach. Thanks for joining us, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Yep.
So Brent, we'll start with you. We've talked a little offline that, compared to some other sports, especially, maybe things aren't quite as different for your team as far as safety precautions go and things like that. What are the workouts looking for you guys right now?
Well, right now it's only those who were already on campus. And so pretty small groups. We haven't had to worry yet about having more than one per lane, which of course would make things a little bit trickier with the social distancing. So we've been back in for a week. Obviously, everyone is being checked up every morning. Everyone has had a negative test. And so we're working pretty hard to stay healthy and keep everyone safe. But beyond that, it's now become a fairly normal buildup where we're able to just kind of build back a foundation training-wise.
And Krystal, how has it been for you getting back to campus, having a schedule, seeing teammates, all that?
It's been really nice. I missed the people that I'm seeing now, and I'm enjoying seeing Brent, of course. I missed Brent the most because Brent is just the bomb.
Miss you too, Krystal.
But it's been really good getting back in the water again. I missed it a lot.
So you have such a large international contingent as well. There's obviously a timetable for getting those students back, and what are some of the challenges they're looking like?
It's an individual thing, right? Because everyone is in kind of a different situation depending on where they are. I think some of the students who are in countries with worse situations currently, of course, are trying pretty hard to be able to come back, where some who are in countries with really good situations are considering staying home and taking classes online for the semester, right? We want to, of course, have a competitive team as soon as possible, but that's not nearly as important as what is healthy and safe for each of our students. So having conversations individually and working with each of them, where the ultimate goal is to have a really healthy, strong team in February and March. So we feel confident that we're going to be able to do that.
And Krystal, you're not an international student, but from out of state, of course. When things kind of went down there in March, I assume you quarantined back home. Were you even planning on maybe staying on campus in normal times? What did it look like for you?
Yeah, so initially I did go home for a little while there, basically like that last month of classes. And it was really hard. It was really hard coming from, a more controlled environment on campus, doing my work in quieter spaces. I mean, when you're bunched up in a house with 6 other people, it can be pretty tough. So I made the decision to come back to Indianapolis and stay on campus, and it was a great decision. I love being in Indy. I have all my friends here, and I was definitely able to have a much better academic outcome that way. So it's been good.
And Ryan, we were in an even more unique spot than most because everything really went crazy while we were at our nationals meet in March.
Yeah.
So we came back from Cleveland having completed 3/8 of the meet, and half our team that was home already had already scattered, and it was a pretty crazy week or so with everyone scattering. But everyone, I think, has progressed towards a good spot wherever they are in the world, and so we're looking forward to being with everyone again, because we've been away, but also because things happened the way they did in fairly unfortunate way, but we're growing stronger because of it.
And Krystal, now that you are kind of back into the swing of things a little bit, at least on campus, what are you personally trying to get out of the voluntary workouts now? What's your mindset like at this point in the calendar?
Like my mindset for
What are you trying to accomplish, being in the pool for the upcoming season, knowing that it's July right now?
You know, at this point, it's really just about getting back in shape and getting back to where I want to be in the pool. You know, obviously Brent talked about how Nationals was cut short this past season, and that was super disappointing because it was going to be my best one yet. I mean, it already had been just in the few sessions we had. So I guess my main goal now is to look forward to March and February and just train really hard as I did last season, maybe even harder, because I do have goals that I haven't quite reached yet that I do want to achieve.
Okay, so Brent, you have a full season under your belt now. That was your first year last year here at UIndy. You recently named associate head coach. What are some of the goals maybe you'd like to see for this upcoming season? Maybe even some things you'd like to implement, you know, from a coaching standpoint.
Oh, I mean, we just want to keep getting better, right? We want to be a stronger group. We work hard at recruiting the right kind of people, and so it's exciting getting this new recruiting class back on campus eventually at least, because we've spent the last year talking with them and getting to know them. But you know, I think in swimming, you work with each individual to get the most out of that person, academically, athletically, you know, as an individual. And then you get to kind of sit back and enjoy the result of putting it together. And we have a really, really talented group. And I think that our women especially were cut off on doing something really special. They were going to very likely end up in the top 4, which is certainly the first time our women's program has done that. And so I think they're going to be even better this year. And so it could be it will be, once we really get going with it, a really exciting season in that way. So I don't think we need to necessarily dwell on this thing or that thing. I think it's just continuing to develop each individual the way they expect to be, and you know, the way they said they've chosen to be when they decided to be here. And so that's exciting to get back to work doing it.
And Krystal, well, both of you actually have touched on the how the cancellation of championships last spring, you know, was a big disappointment for you know, so many people really across the country. But what you personally, now looking back especially, what kind of positives have you been able to take away from that and maybe even use for motivation this season?
I think the main thing was, like Brent said, you know, we were set up to make top 4 for the first time ever in program history, and that was going to be so amazing. And I think that with us being that close to doing that last season, with all the new fresh talent we have coming in this season, I think it's definitely, like, I know we can make it happen. I know we have a few transfers coming in that we're super excited about. We've all been talking to them, getting them hyped up for the new season and getting to know the team and everything. So, I mean, looking forward, I think it'll be good for everyone to make new relationships with people. You know, you're going to meet people from all over the place that you've never seen before. And I think that's a really good growing aspect for our team, because it's a new opportunity for us to all challenge each other. And we're obviously going to spend a lot more time with each other now that, you know, we may not have like all these meets that we've had in the past. We're going to be training a lot more. And I think that's a really good chance for us to bond.
And Brent, how about you? What kind of positives have you been able to kind of mine from the situation we're all in?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think everyone has their own personal positives. For me, it's been really nice stepping back and spending time with family. It's something that I probably don't do enough of. You know, as you can see, I'm sitting in the office. I don't really leave when I'm able to be here. So that's been good. From a training perspective, you know, there's a little bit of a clean slate. And you can see that as good or bad. You know, I think in our sport, we are very focused on fitness and probably not as focused on finesse as we often could be. And so we get a chance now, being that we, our ultimate competition is in March, and here it is July. And so we have a long buildup, whereas often we're in a really big hurry for the next meet. But we're able to maybe step back a little bit, slow things down, speak about things a little bit differently. Krystal here, last year, we had this conversation last week, actually. Last year, we both feel like we rushed her stroke development a little bit, and it was really, really great for certain events and kind of a neutral for others. The 200 free has been her bread and butter for a while, and it ended up being kind of about the same as in the past, where her other events really progressed. And so this gives us time to take the stroke enhancement that she's done to be so fast in the short freestyle events and tweak that to make it right for the 200 free, because it's an event she didn't feel as comfortable in as she probably did in some of her others. So that's pretty exciting to be able to step back and do that with everybody. And I think there's more motivation probably to do that, because everyone just misses getting better so much and getting opportunities to get better.
Okay, well, Krystal and Brent, I appreciate the time so much. I'm glad you were able to step away and give us a little info on swimming and diving at UIndy. And, I just want to wish you guys the best of luck and be safe out there.
Same to you, Ryan. Happy to do it.
Thank you.